Y, esto es como una reserva de agua que ellos construyeron. Esto, para más información, YouTube tiene un documental sobre esto más interesante.
And the thing is that if you are using it, the water kind of keeps changing. So if you're not using it, because it's all open, so the water is bad. So till the time they were using it, it was all clean water, and then it was good. But now, because it's kind of not changing, it's still now there. That is the reason it's bad. So all these arches that you see over there, that is there so people would take rest. So let's say you're a traveler, 300, 400, 1,000 years ago. All the travelers, they knew, because they would have always experienced people who would take them, which part they can stay and all. So this was all free to everybody. You can be coming right in maybe from Agra, and then you wanted a place to have a shelter, some rest. You would always have some food with you, dry packed food. You can get water for yourself, for your animal, and you can cook your food. You would have, here you can. India had loads of trees, and also there's no problem of wood. You would make a fire, and if there was raining or if it's too hot, because it is below the ground level, so you stay in these arches and all, and it will be cool. And if it was too cold, you stay there, it will be hot because it's underground. And underground is always different water temperature from above. And if it's raining, you can get shelter for your animals, for yourself, and everything. The reason why this thing is important is because this is 1,000 years old. 1,000 years ago, they built that. There have been some restoration that is done. Why I am saying that? Because you see the arches. The arches, as I told you, is the Islamic concept, not Indian. But the stepwell is an Indian concept, not Islam. So the stepwell must have been built by the Hindu king, and then the restoration is done by the Muslim king. Why also? Because this is a mosque.
Okay.
So that is the mosque. So when the Islamic ruler, he did this restoration work, he built the mosque. So when if there are Muslim travelers, they're staying here and they want to pray.
This is the mosque.
It is more or less 100 feet basically.
They told us
If you want, you can try jump and
the place of
Yeah.
the circle like this
Oh yeah, they have.
called mihrab. The priest stay over there, everybody back of them and start praying.
Pray. And
They
don't
call
see.
mihrab.
so wide.
Usually the mihrab is quite the two places. This one here, it is Jerusalem, but most of the mosques around the world, they follow the God house in Saudi Arabia.
To be a Mecca.
Yes, often in Mecca.
It's not the most modern. I mean, the buildings look old, but then they were like it's one of the most expensive and modern and sought after areas. Like to take a shop or something on rent here, it's the most expensive part, not only in India but in Southeast Asia. So it's very expensive. Sara, what? It is, well, you can call it a sarai, but this is stepwell, Bauli. Bauli is the stepwell, where there are steps. So this is basically a well, effectively, but there are steps that take you to the well. Normally from the well you put a bucket and then you take out the water. Here you actually go fill the water. So what we can do. And so you don't really need to
You go to the water instead of the water coming to you.
come into it. You can have as much as water you want and you can enjoy it.
Did these go back any further, or were they like rooms
These ones
down
are
here?
just but the ones down there,
Are open.
they are deep.
Oh, okay,
They do have the place, yes,
They
you
can
can
live
stay.
in there.
okay.
So you can stay in there. And there are some inner quarters over there, so if there are ladies and they want to have some shower or anything, there are inner quarters where they have water, they can use.
Okay.
That's also the arrangement over there.
So they just built around it. They never touched this. But before they built around it, what was there before?
It was all forest.
Forest.
Yes. There was this road that passed through this area. Otherwise, it was all trees and forest. and then there were farmers as well who were growing their crops here. So all of them was removed, and then they built New Delhi over here.
I'm glad they left it untouched.
That's because no, this is one thing. See, when the British came to India, the Indian part or the Indian what do you call it, contribution towards the world GDP was 23%. So whatever was being produced in all of the world, 1/4 of that was being produced in India. And India was one of the richest countries in those days when the British came. And by the time the British left India, our contribution to the world GDP was 3%. According to some estimates, the British took almost $45 trillion of wealth from India. Now, that is one aspect which did make India a poor country. The other aspect is there were few, although when you weigh the good and the bad things are much higher, but there are a few good things as well. So the first good thing that the British brought to India was the modern education. The education system. Indians, for some reason, right from the beginning, we give a lot of importance to the studies. So the British were the first ones who brought this modern education system in India. And as a result, today the Indian doctors and engineers and everybody are all over the world. But that's all can be credited to the British. The second thing, they were the ones who actually showed us or opened the door of the world to India. India before that was a very closed country. It was considered that if you're a Hindu, you're a sacred person. But you're a Hindu only if you are born in this land, which is above the Indian Ocean and below the Himalayas. If you're born in that land, then you're a Hindu. You cannot become a Hindu, and then only you're sacred. If you leave this land and you go on the other side of the ocean, you do not remain sacred. And there were so many misconceptions and so many wrong traditions that we were following. So the British were the ones who broke those ones. They were the ones who introduced us to the modern world, or to the world at that time, and to the modern legal system as well. Like there was one of the most infamous custom in India that if you're a young couple and for some reason, young or old couple, the husband dies, then they used to think, and because there was no widow remarriage in India, so that widow was considered a liability for the society, because it was considered, it was a patriarchal society. So when a woman is, men have to take care. So when a woman is born, when a girl is born, she is under the protection of her father. When she is married, she is under the protection of her husband, and she has to follow the husband. And when the husband dies and she has a son, then she is under the protection of the son. So because in India it is the like I take care of my parents, so it is the son who takes care of you. So if the husband is dead and there are no kids, then there is no protector. And if there is no protector of a woman, she will be a problem to the society, because then everybody would think that I can have her, and then the life would be miserable. So the best thing for her is to jump into the fire of the husband and kill herself.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Right. That was called the not now. So the best thing for her is to die. So what they would do, just like these days, these suicide bombers, they kind of brainwash them that you commit this, blow yourself up with a bomb, and then there will be 72 virgins and blah blah blah, and all of that sort of nonsense. Similar way, the woman is already in the shock because her husband died, and they would tell her, well, if you commit sati, you would get rid of all the sins that you might have committed, all your generations to come have committed, all the generations have gone have committed. You will be a goddess, you will be immortal, your family would never have any trouble, this and that. This is how they would brainwash her, and they would give her opium, so that when she is like half awake, and when she jumps into the fire, she feels less pain, because opium kind of makes you numb, So she would still feel it, definitely. So, but that was a cruel system. So that was banned by the British, So there were a few systems like that. So these were the good things.